I'm Trish Toby with WARC reporting to you live from Westchester, New York, where there appears to be some sort of mutant menace on the loose.
Hey everybody, I'm Matt Allcamp.
And I'm Pat Reber.
And say it with us,
Welcome
Pete. Welcome to Mutant Menace, Pete.
You gotta at least wait for Matt to finish speaking.
That was so fast, my dude.
He just cut you off.
It's all right. He's already out the door. He's running away. He knew what he did.
He was just in a hurry today.
He knew what he did, and he's running away. He's hopping in a plane back to Australia or whatever.
Back to the outback.
How's it going, Pat?
Pretty good. I guess it's been a chaotic week. I've mostly just played a lot of Stardew Valley in my non-work time.
Sounds chaotic. Sounds chaotic.
Yeah. Things have been wild.
Well, look, Patrick, I have some important things that I have to tell the listeners before we even do anything. In addition to our street team, and by the way, you can still join our street team, email us at
mutantmenacepod@gmail.com
with the subject line street team and send your address and the name of your favorite X-Man. We will send you a envelope with a couple of flyers for you to put up around town or your local coffee shop, at your local comic book shop. And as a thank you, we will send you a drawing made by one of us of your favorite X-Man. It won't be good. But
no.
Another thing we did is we sent letters to a few comic book shops in every single state in the United States with a series of flyers. What our research showed were some of the people's favorite comic book stores in each state. We sent about, 5 per each state, and we've been hearing back from those comic book stores. So I just want to give some shouts out. Blackbird Comics in North Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah.
Nerds Forever in Newcastle, Wyoming.
That's the number 4.
And Big Bang Comics in Bayamon, Puerto Rico.
Hey.
If you live in any of those places, check those comic book shops out. We only sent flyers to comic book shops that we read really amazing things about. So,
yeah,
if you check those stores out, you're going to find some cool shit.
They like us. So if you like us.
And you can walk up to the counter and say, hey, Mutant Menace sent me. And they'll say...
they'll give you a free pack of gummy bears.
They'll say, oh, okay. All right.
Do you remember that? Does that joke track? There was a time in like the mid-90s when you could go to McDonald's and say, Nick sent me. And they would give you like a free pack of gummy bears.
What?
Or Teddy Grahams, maybe.
What the hell are you talking about?
Immediately what I thought we're asking people to do.
I have a mea culpa here, Pat. I fucked up.
Oh, yeah, you did. You really did, dude.
I deeply fucked up. All right. In about the middle of our giant-sized Dark Phoenix episode, I said something. When Phoenix destroys the sun and kills all those blue, shaggy-haired, broccoli-ish people, when she kills all those people, I mentioned how this changed the entire story of the Dark Phoenix saga. And then I was like, oh, I'll explain later. I never explained later.
Yeah. Not just the Dark Phoenix saga. It changes the entire Marvel universe, right?
Yes. So the original story, Phoenix wasn't supposed to die. A series of pages were written and drawn in which Jean Grey, and this is what they fought for. This was like the rest of the issue was pretty much the same. This was the conflict. It wasn't we are going to kill her. It was we are going to take her mutant powers away.
Oh, interesting.
So there were, again, pages drawn by John Byrne in which the X-Men lost, and Jean got her powers taken away, and Wolverine freaked out, but Jean submitted to it, semi-willingly, like she did her own death. And then what was supposed to happen from there on was Jean was just no longer a mutant, no longer an X-Man. Cyclops was going to quit the X-Men. They were going to go away and live together forever. And like Claremont's idea was that the X-Men would rotate in and out. It's like it wouldn't be, you wouldn't have the same cast. People would graduate and move on and live regular lives.
Yeah.
So what happened was something to the effect of Claremont wrote, and then she destroys a sun. And then Byrne was like, oh, well, if she's destroying a sun, I bet it'll destroy some planets. And then drew a picture of those blue men getting destroyed.
Yeah.
Like watching their sun explode. And then Jim Shooter saw that panel and was like, hey, she committed genocide, you guys. And he was like, you can't just take away her powers. She committed genocide. You have to kill her. And again, after the story was already written and drawn, but not published yet, they had to go back and kill Jean Grey.
That is fascinating. Yeah, I had no idea.
And a rare case in which Jim Shooter is right.
Well.
Okay.
I know we don't talk about Jim Shooter a lot on this podcast, but his philosophy was a break from traditional Marvel philosophy around continuity, right? And making sure that every story arc returned back to its original point. His big philosophy was, we don't have to get back to original continuity. We should start killing people. Like that was the unfortunately most creative way he had of altering trajectories. But you see under his leadership, Marvel characters start dying. They start refreshing with new identities or new, like entirely new people.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad philosophy. I think it's definitely bold and risk-taking. But again, his only thought to alter trajectories of stories was a major loved character dies.
Yeah, I mean, he was a terrible writer, I think, is the main thing about Jim Shooter. And like, he wasn't a great editor. He pushed Marvel towards a direction in which they improved. However, he wrote some of the worst Marvel stories of all time. He's made some of the worst editorial decisions of all time. Jim Shooter is not a figure to be revered, but what we like about Marvel Comics, unfortunately, wouldn't exist without this guy named Jim Shooter who mostly sucked. So, anyway, I just wanted to tell everybody that because I meant to mention it last.
Matt, time to stop before we make this another 3-hour podcast. It is time for Pat's email corner.
All right, I'm ready.
One stipulation before we dig into the mailbag here. We're getting a lot of emails.
Which is a good problem to have.
Yes. Yeah. We love receiving them. We have a lot of regulars here. We're not at this point yet, but just to throw a warning out there, there may reach a point where we can't read everybody's email on air as we have been doing.
We're getting close.
Yeah. So if in the future you don't hear your email read, I'm sorry. It is nothing against your email. We still want you to keep emailing. And so here we're condensing a few. So again, no offense to the folks that wrote in. Your emails were winners from start to finish, but we got to pull out some highlights. First one, we're starting with Mike. Matt, this is not email Michael. This is...
What the hell?
A new listener.
There's 2 listeners named Mike?
Well, one's Michael.
Okay.
Who sometimes signs off as Mike, but this is just Mike. This is listener Mike. He did write us 2 emails, so he gets the rare 2 email read on one corner.
You know what? I think we should call him Mike 2 Emails.
Mikey 2 mails. Like that guy from Goodfellas.
We got
he always emails everything twice.
We got to email Michael, and then we got Mikey 2 Mails.
Mike wrote in his first email. It just says, Mike. This is clearly someone who started listening from the beginning, because I think it's episode 2 or 3 that we ask listeners just to send us their name. Congrats, Mike.
I fucking love that. It was before we decided that every single episode would start with us having Pete say the intro with us. We were just going to say a different listener's name every episode, and we just stuck with Pete.
Well, congrats to Mike for being the second person in 29 episodes to email us their name as instructed. He does write in again, and I can't place exactly what episode this email belongs in, but it is very interesting. It says, "Hello, Matt and Pat," ignoring formatting, but that's okay. "Hello, Matt and Pat. I have caused several lab explosions from an old job of mine. I literally had a combustion show in an old museum where I did fire show experiments with combustibles, and my museum used to sell bug suckers." What's a bug sucker, Matt?
I don't know what the fuck a bug sucker is. Hey, Mike, how many people got superpowers is what I want to know. I'm almost positive that's what we were asking about. Like, if you've ever caused a lab accident, let us know, because in the Marvel universe, it happens nonstop. And everybody who causes a lab accident gets superpowers. Mike
does attach proof of a mini combustion at his museum show. It's very cool. Thank you, Mike. And yeah, please let us know how many people develop superpowers and what a bug sucker is. Happy to hear from you.
Unless a bug sucker is something that we don't want to know about.
No, then I especially want to know about it. If I don't want to know about it, I want to know about it. Another one from listener Eric, who, Matt, at this point, I think we can officially bestow the nickname Ambitious Eric.
He's Ambitious Eric. He's been so ambitious.
Congrats, Eric. Congrats, Ambitious Eric. He writes in, he says, "Hey, Pat, tell Matt I splurged and read all 22 issues of Captain Ultra."
That is ambitious!
Has been in since his debut in 1961's Fantastic Four number 177, just to get an accurate assessment of my favorite appearance of his. Believe it or not, only the third time he appeared in comics was during the Defenders run you guys covered.
Unbelievable.
Wild. My favorite stories of his were after he began his stand-up comedy career, particularly 1988's What the Number 15. There are better jokes in the second half of Marvel Comics Presents number 50, but the first half of that story is fairly abysmal, even if it does finally provide us his origins and cure his pyrophobia.
I love the idea of a superhero who is also a stand-up comedian. That's not a bad gimmick.
I would have trouble finding stand-up comedians with the moral compass to be a superhero. But I guess that's just what the comics are for.
Yeah.
He goes on to talk about spam calls a bit. Thank you very much, Ambitious Eric. And then he says, "I leave you with this. What Swarm did with bees paved the way for Squirrel Girl to accomplish with her rodent retinue. And where would we be today without Squirrel Girl? Insincerely yours, Eric J." Hard to say. It's a great vocal warm-up. Squirrel Girl. We did get another email from Simon from Hell. If you remember, he offered to participate in our street team activity. We politely declined just because his art was almost too good for it. And so he has offered to draw us our favorite X-Men, Matt.
Yes!
We can get a picture just from Simon from Hell. Think on it. And we'll
No, let's figure it out right now. Who's your guy? Who would you love? What?
Hands down, Nightcrawler.
He already sent us a picture of Nightcrawler.
He did. I know. Another one, please.
I always like the kids. So like Anole or Pixie. The kids from later on.
Grown for later years.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I mean, if you wanted to do a duo, Brew and Dupe. I've always wanted to write a Brew Dupe miniseries.
Oh my God. Yeah, actually, I'm voting for this. And we'll get there 20 years from now, but let's...
Okay, one of us is Brew, the other one's Dupe, and then we'll just put our pictures together.
Perfect. Thank you, Simon from Hell.
Simon from Hell.
And then we got the old standards here. Email Michael says, "Hey, Pat, Tell Matt that I do get spam phone calls on a regular basis, but never as many as 20 in one day, and I don't enjoy them.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Email Michael.
Yeah, thank you again. All of this information around spam calls is very informative for me, so I appreciate it.
Why? What are you learning from this?
It's just what other people get out of it.
Okay. And every single person has said, yes, I get them. No, I don't get that many.
No, some people have said they don't get that many. But nobody, Matt, this is interesting. Nobody likes them. Not one. So that's a shared experience for me.
Yeah, all right, you're right.
He does sign off here. Never seen a Bad News Bears movie, really.
Me neither.
Michael. I know. The two of you should start a Patreon where you watch Bad News Bears movies together.
I did watch Hellraiser, though, recently.
Okay.
Is that something you wanted to know?
That's close.
Okay.
Finally, we have Weapon Jason, who is writing in, if you recall, I think last episode we read his part 1 response to episode 27. Here is his part 2 response.
Okay.
Matt, he is shocked at your lazy attitude towards Latverians and Madripoor. Says, I can only chalk this up to the late hour and the woozy effects of trying to process so much Mantlo. You said, and I know it was in the heat of the moment, but some pretty offensive things about Latverians and Madriporians.
You said the word lazy. Did you mean to say racist?
Yes. Did I say lazy?
Yes.
I don't think the word lazy is here at all.
Okay.
I may have added that.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Listen, I don't know what to tell you.
Matt, you need to stop. Weapon Jason says to come to Mantlo's defense, he does acknowledge later that he's truly not one of the greats, but to come to his defense, apparently he was fast and able to deliver on time, so was tapped for a lot of work on that basis.
Who fucking cares?
He also helped create the Micronauts and ROM Space Knight runs.
Yes.
Helped invent Rocket Raccoon and Cloak and Dagger, and also had a decent run on the Incredible Hulk.
Okay, maybe he had a decent run on the Incredible Hulk. That's fine. And I've heard that the Micronauts and ROM are good.
Better than they had any right to be, at least.
Cloak and Dagger and Rocket Raccoon are good characters, but I've read every Cloak and Dagger appearance up to 1991 so far. And they're all bad. It's a good set of characters who had never up to that point, at least up till 1991, had never had a good story.
And you feel like that's the writer's fault?
Yes, it's the writer's fault.
All right. Sorry, Weapon Jason. Argument dismissed. He does go on. This is important. He says, note, some gases that would be knockout capable would be various forms of ether, which are used in hospitals for knocking folks out for surgery. So totally, it could be done.
Oh, that there would be knockout gas in a hospital. Yeah. This is scraping the corners of my brain to try and remember what the fuck we talked about in episode 2 of our Defenders coverage.
Appropriately enough, he says, you guys were so tired by the end of this. I hope you slept for days and have absolutely no memory of anything from this episode. So this entire pair of emails is confusing for you.
Almost. Yeah,
nailed
absolutely.
It, Weapon Jason. Thank you so much. That is the end of Pat's email corner.
Wow, efficient this week.
Matt.
Yeah.
Did you do anything X-Men related this week?
You know, Pat, I can't even think of a fake one.
Okay.
How about you? Did you do anything X-Men related this week?
It's okay once in a while if you don't have anything X-Men related to in a week. This week, I did do some X-Men related things. Namely, there's a scene in the run that we're about to touch on here where Peter, Colossus, is pulling a stump out of the ground, doing his old farm boy work. Reminded me a whole lot of the video game Stardew Valley, which I have been playing obsessively for the last 3 weeks. It was the free game on PlayStation last month. It's probably no longer by the time this episode drops, but wow, fascinating.
How do you feel?
I had a baby.
Oh, wow. Who's your marriage partner? Who's your crush?
I married Leah. I started by
Leah's
dating
good.
Emily.
Aw,
She and
Pat.
I, things got a little cold between us, and it just didn't work out. So
Emily's one of the few that you can have sex with.
yes, yeah, we did make love
In the woods.
in the
In the
woods.
tent.
And then it's not like that was the end of it. We went on for a little while, but Leah
You weren't a
came on
fan of her
pretty
parrot.
strong. I do not like birds as pets. I do think that that's a red flag.
Yeah. And you didn't like. I'm guessing you didn't like that Emily was all about dressing you up in various types of clothing.
Yeah, here's the thing. She was really fashion oriented. She said a lot of weird stuff, which is fine. That's her personality, and I didn't mind it.
Weirdo. Yeah.
But she only talks about herself ever. There was no weight to the conversations we were having. And as I got to know Leah, as I encouraged her to get into her art and really engage with the rest of the community, it clicked.
Mm-hmm.
I was dating both of them for a short time.
Patrick!
They were fine with it. But then, Emily, it was fairly mutual. I had to do the breaking up. Emily wasn't thrilled about it when it was happening, but we were both in the same place about it.
Generally, I'll date everybody and then marry Penny pretty much every time.
Wow. Penny makes sense for you, I think.
Yeah, I'm into Penny.
Yeah.
Listen, that is very X-Men related.
Not dissimilar from X-Men.
Could you imagine an X-Men farming sim? Where you're tending farm at the Xavier Mansion and you're dating the different X-Men. Dating the different X-Men. And you pick a power.
Oh my god, a power that would just be naturally useful on your farm?
Yeah, they'd have, say, maybe 12 powers you pick through. Yeah. At the beginning of the way that you pick a farm type, beginning of every game, you pick a power for your character. And they all do different things, but equally,
right. You can form a laser scythe, or you can turn into a goat.
Right, or you can fly over bodies of water or something.
All right. Yeah, that's my X-Men related detail for the week, Matt. It's literally all I've done with my time.
Well, here's what I want from you now.
Me? From me?
Here's a thing I want from you.
Yeah, please, Matt, anything.
I would love you, my friend Pat, to tell me about Uncanny X-Men number 138.
You mean Elegy?
Please. Please, God.
Written, co-plotted, and penciled by Chris Claremont and John Byrne. Inked by Terry Austin. Lettered by Tom Orzechowski. Colored by Glynis Wein. And edited by Louise Jones and Jump Shooter, editor-in-chief. Release date, July 15th, 1980. Cover date, October 1980. It's a recap issue.
And
Matt, a funeral issue.
Oh, okay.
Scott Summers stands by Jean Grey's grave along with all the other X-Men, new and old, and thinks through the last 28 episodes of this podcast from his perspective. During this...
So Jean's grave is front and center, and it's interesting to look at the years. It's 1956 to 1980.
Oh, my goodness.
If comics moved in real time, Jean Grey would be 69 years old. 69 years old right now.
Hey. Very cool.
But I kept thinking how funny it would have been if you turned the page from this everyone crying around her grave. And the next page was a full page spread of her bursting out of the ground. And she's like, "Hear me, X-Men! The woman you knew as Jean Grey is dead." It's like, Jean, stop it, please.
Oh. There is a really good... They're introducing each X-Man and their powers, and they just get to Bobby, and they say, "And Bobby Drake, Iceman, for obvious reasons." And he's just standing there as a big block of ice.
Also, hey, Nightcrawler isn't at Jean's funeral. What the fuck?
Isn't he? Well, during the flashback sequence, we see a glimpse back to issue 32, where the X-Men had just fought the Satan Saints at Bobby Drake's 18th birthday party.
Rockin' Redbone.
Afterwards, whether by retcon or Scott's faulty memory, Scott remembers taking Jean on a walk through the park and telling her about his childhood, about his brain damage, and about how it's the reason he can't control his optic blasts.
He didn't do that, though.
Right.
I went back and read that issue. He chickens out on telling her.
Yeah, this'll make you a little more upset, Matt. He also, contrary to what we read, remembers that this was the night they declared their love for one another.
Yeah. Okay, that too. Both of them think about how, I wish I could tell them I love you, but I can't.
They distinctly end that conversation by thinking to themselves, I wish we had shared our feelings with each other.
I don't know. So, again, he just talked about his brain damage. I don't know if that's like an accident. Like, if he, like, I don't know if this is an accident on Claremont's part, or he's like, he's brain damaged. He forgets shit.
I think it's to clean up the story a little bit, right? Like, we can try to build it into canon if we want to, but I really think that he's trying to say, like, we read through all those issues. At no point do they acknowledge that they're dating. They are just, one day they're pining for each other. The next day they're declaring their love for each other.
It's during, I think, Mike Friedrich or Arnold Drake, one of their FBI broke us up.
Yeah.
Run. Yeah.
Everything else is pretty much exactly as we remember it, though we find out that Cyclops felt that Xavier's fake death was cruel, but held his tongue about it. We get so much Cyclops lore just around. I think like the big moment here is he thought Xavier's fake death was cruel, but he really goes through his relationship with Xavier during this flashback. Like, it's almost told from the point of, boy, here's when I trusted him, and here's how that slowly eroded over time.
Right.
We also, during the flashback, get cameos from both Porcupine and Locust.
Yeah, I mean, we get we get everyone. We get the living we get Grotesque.
Yeah, they name Grotesque. The funeral ends, and Lalandra approaches Jean's parents with a gift meant to honor Jean's life. A holoempathic matrix crystal, which holds a 3D image of Jean and an impression of her personality.
You didn't need to tell me that. You said a holoempathic matrix crystal.
Right, which we all remember from last episode when Lalandra had one of Charles sitting by her bed. Yeah. Scott then approaches Professor X and Nightcrawler, informing him that he's leaving the X-Men.
Wait, what the fuck?
He has a lot to reflect on, and he's ready to live a whole new life.
Wait, why is Nightcrawler there?
He was actually hiding in the tree, Matt.
That little scamp! He's just playing a little prank on his friends at a funeral.
They point out that Hank is in his Hank mask again. He's not letting his blue furry head show through. I wonder if there is a risk here of like revealing secret identities, which is why they said, hey, Nightcrawler, can you hide in the tree for the funeral?
Couldn't possibly be, because Hank McCoy doesn't have a secret identity. The Beast is public.
You're right. He's just being, I wonder what's going on with
him.
That's
so everybody else at the funeral's like, why is their friend Beast not here? And who's this weird guy with a rubber face?
As the funeral ends, another story begins. A taxi cab pulls up in front of Xavier's school for gifted youngsters, and out of it steps a 13-and-a-half-year-old mutant girl named Kitty Pryde.
Pat, I have a question.
Yeah.
Very cute ending to the story. She's wearing like she's a cute little pink cap and a cute little pink jacket. And underneath she's wearing a black shirt that has rhinestones on it. Yep. And you can't read everything on the shirt. But I'm like 90% sure her shirt says bitch.
I'm pretty sure too. And it's the first day of school, Kitty.
What are you doing?
Give it some time.
We see, like, we can't see the left side of the shirt, and then it says IT, and then what looks like a C, and then we can't see the end of the shirt.
Yeah. But the proportions make it very clear that there's only 2 letters on other side.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it says bitch.
That's just it's a sign of the times, Matt. Kids these days, you know?
Kids these days.
I also, just one final detail here. I misspoke. This is extremely corny, but instead of the end at the end of the issue here, they write the beginning.
Did you tear up when you read that?
I got chills. It's the beginning.
It is the beginning. All right, Pat, I'm going to tell you all about X-Men, Uncanny X-Men number 139. How about that?
Yeah, please do. What's the name of this one?
Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Ooh, Shakespeare.
There's a dot at the front, so I think the first half of it got cut off or something. But written by Chris Claremont, plots and pencils by John Byrne, inked by Terry Austin, lettered by Tom Orzechowski, colored by Glynis Ween. Louise Jones is the editor, and John Shooter's the editor-in-chief. It's released on August 19th, 1980. Warren Kenneth Worthington III is fucking up again. He's back in the X-Men. He's back in the X-Men. He's training in the Danger Room when he clomps into Nightcrawler, knocking him towards a pit of fire. Wolverine saves Nightcrawler, and he bamps away right into the path of the robot Colossus just threw, making Storm have to divert her flight to save him and open herself up to get snagged on some tentacles. All because of Angel. Professor X, watching on with Kitty Pryde at his back, halts the exercise.
I do love, this is just what he's done every time we've seen him in the Danger Room. Peter goes to fight the big robot and apologizes to it and is just like, I'm sorry, Mr. Robot, but I'm much stronger than you. And then just smashes it. That's his Danger Room exercise. Angel, what Angel is doing here, I like to call Mighty Ducks 2-ing. You had the talent, but you took too much time off of it. You got too cocky, and now you don't have it anymore.
I also wonder if he ever had the talent, to be honest.
Yeah, he does. Even when he's on his game in this run, he is just flying. He's just flying.
We're immediately seeing some new dynamics here. First, when Warren admits to his mistakes, Wild, Professor X doesn't hammer it in.
Yeah.
Wild. But Wolverine, of all people, offers consolation and support.
He's a sweetheart.
He's like, hey, we're all in this together, man. We'll get there. Second, Storm is now the team leader.
Hell yeah.
Third, Wolverine. He's got a new sleek orange and brown costume.
Yes.
He's got, it's kind of like adheres closer to the standard X-Men uniform where it's got like the triangle shape on his chest.
Earth-tone Wolverine.
Belt.
This is, I think we're going to get to one of Wolverine's best looks a little later in this episode, but this is absolutely one of his best looks.
You love the orange and brown.
I love Earth. I call it more of a golden brown, but
Professor X tries to assign the name Ariel to Kitty.
What the fuck?
While Storm suggests the much more agreeable Sprite.
Also, what the fuck? And there's,
I think your name should be Ariel.
There's this, as they're having this discussion, Nightcrawler brings everybody lemonades except for Wolverine. He brings Wolverine a beer because he knows that's all Wolverine can drink. But he hands the lemonade to Xavier as Xavier is saying that he likes the name Sprite. And it's just him looking into the camera, holding up a lemonade and going, I love Sprite. It's like product placement.
Wolverine calls Professor X Charlie, to which Xavier says, please call me Professor or Professor X or Professor Xavier or even Charles, just not Charlie. And Wolverine says, sure, Chuck.
It's so good.
It's just
sure, Chuck.
It's like, it's a friendlier, like even the panels are more colorful. It's like a friendlier, lighter X-Men. Like Kitty is already bringing this like lighter tone to the team.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Xavier's reaction is just like it's a scribble. It's just him going,
mm-hmm. And he's the one who telepathically told Kirk to go get drinks for everybody. He's like being nice.
That's true. He saw
it's like
how
he knows he deeply fucked up.
Yeah. He saw his value dropping. He said, I gotta do something to get people to like me again.
Got to get my Q rating back up. Wolverine announces he's taking a trip back to Canada to sort out his beef with Alpha Flight, and he urges Nightcrawler to come along.
Yes!
Buddies.
Wolverine, it's a Logan and Kurt road trip story.
Hell yes.
What more could you ask for?
Xavier then sends Storm and Sprite.
Who?
Into the city to meet with Kitty's surprise new dance instructor, a woman named STEVIE HUNTER. STEVIE HUNTER is here!
I don't know STEVIE HUNTER.
She's just the dance instructor. I mean, she'll be around forever, but she's just a cool lady. That's all. In a mysterious Canadian city named Ottawa, a woman named Heather Hudson struggles with her groceries as she makes her way up to her apartment. She's caught off guard when the front door is unlocked, knowing her husband James is away on government business. So she bursts into the kitchen wielding a broom, only to face her intruders, Wolverine and Nightcrawler.
Oh.
She greets her friend Logan with a big hug, and we learn that she's the wife of Alpha Flight's Vindicator.
Wolverine cannot help himself. He is always flirting with the girlfriend of his team leader.
As long as that girlfriend has red hair.
Yeah. He's into
it.
He grabs Heather and he calls her sexy.
He calls her sexy.
He picks her up
Tells
in
her
the air.
She's beautiful when she's angry.
Yeah.
She sends the boys up north to Hudson Bay to meet with Vindicator and the rest of Alpha Flight. In Hudson Bay, pause.
Yeah.
She also calls him Logan.
Right.
And I fucking love this running bit, right? Remember, Banshee used to be the guy, but now Banshee's not in the team, so now it's Kurt, and he's like, Wolverine, she called you Logan? And he's like, yup. And he's like, is that your name? And he's like, yup. And he's like, you never told us. And he's like, you never asked.
It's a fun, weird attitude thing for him, but come on, man. You never told anybody your first name?
Well, yeah, this isn't like when he never told anybody what his skeleton was made of or
that he could speak Japanese. Yeah.
This is his first name.
Just
but remember,
introduce yourself.
But they were on the fucking moon, and he was like, oh, there's so much we don't know about you. We'll have to fix that. And then didn't ask him his name, right? Like, it's not entirely Wolverine's
Somebody
fault.
was like, I don't even know your first name. It'll always be a mystery.
And also, Heather thinks that Nightcrawler's name is Night Creeper. It's pretty good.
That is pretty good. The Night Creeper.
In Hudson Bay, Shaman, Vindicator, and Snowbird are mapping out the area from their cabin, chasing what they believe to be some giant bear that's been torturing campers in the area.
Nice.
When they're momentarily startled by the arrival of Logan and Kurt, a fight almost breaks out, but calms quickly when the boys offer to help.
No.
Wolverine instantly identifies the description and a large plaster footprint cast as belonging to the Wendigo.
Oh, shit.
Wolverine recaps his first appearance back in episode 16 of this podcast when he and Hulk fought Wendigo, and Marie Carter saved her brother Paul from the Wendigo's curse by transferring it to Georges Baptiste. Remember?
Yeah, of course.
Wolverine offers to help Alpha Flight track the missing campers and find Wendigo. Nightcrawler, trepidatious but accommodating, agrees to go get their gear from the car, only to come face to face with the Wendigo itself.
Oh no!
To be continued.
It's the Wendigo.
It's the Wendigo.
Okay.
It's going to be a Wendigo issue. All right, fine. I do like seeing Alpha Flight again. And we did learn one interesting thing, which is that it's been months since Jean died.
Yes. I'll talk about this a little more towards the end of the episode, but it's been months and they are still touching on the grief around her death. Like, it's still clearly having an impact through the team. It's really tastefully done.
Sure.
What's
your thoughts on the issue?
I was a little disappointed at the end there when Nightcrawler's like, I'll go get the gear. And he goes out to the truck, and I was like, gear? Both of these guys have all they need in a fight, like, on them naturally as part of their bodies. What cool fucking invention did they bring up to Canada to confront Alpha Flight? And then we cut back to the truck, and he's just grabbing sleeping bags. Going camping.
They're going camping. Hey, it's a road trip with the boys.
We touched on it, but I want to touch on it again.
Okay.
Ariel? That's the code name you were coming up for Kitty Pryde? That doesn't... Come on, Chuck. That's terrible. What does that have to do with anything? This is pre-Little Mermaid, too.
That's right. He's just like, sounds kind of nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
what
I guess...
if we give you a nice name? A nice person's name.
But there's a character named Ariel in like a Shakes in The Tempest, right?
Yes, but that still doesn't have anything to do.
Okay, in 1965, not that long ago, Ariel is a poem written by Sylvia Plath.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, we got it. We got that.
That's it. Anything else from you on this?
No, I like seeing Alpha Flight again. I like it when we get to see Alpha Flight. And I like to meet Heather Hudson. Heather Hudson's cool. She's a cool character. I like her. I hope we get to see more of her. We won't until... Yeah, I've got a little crush on Heather Hudson. No, I don't think we'll see more of her until we read Alpha Flight.
Can't wait. For now, let's move on to Uncanny X-Men number 140, Rage.
Okay.
Chris Claremont writer, John Byrne plot and pencils, Terry Austin inker, Tom Orzechowski letterer, Glynis Wein colorist, Louise Jones editor, and Jump Shooter editor-in-chief. Interesting. Again, Chris Claremont is just the writer. John Byrne has plot and pencils.
Huh.
Release date September 16th, 1980. Cover date December 1980. We get a checkup on the X-Men living their lives in relative peace. Peter vicariously relives his happy farm boy childhood through pulling stumps out of the untended field behind Xavier Mansion.
Okay. Pause.
Just like in Stardew Valley. Unpause.
No, keep it paused. So this is actually something that John Byrne cites often as one of the reasons he left the X-Men.
Really?
Yeah. So this scene, the opening to this issue, where Colossus is smiling and tugging on, like he's got a bunch of chains wrapped around a tree stump and he's pulling it out of the ground. Yeah. And the next panel, he's sort of leaning back and the stump's coming free. John Byrne was like, obviously, this is a picture of Colossus easily pulling a stump out of the ground like it wasn't difficult at all.
Oh.
And then Claremont wrote it as Colossus was struggling really hard with this stump. And eventually, after a hard struggle, it came free. And Byrne, who is the pettiest, most childish adult on the face of the earth, got mad at this and quit the X-Men.
Oh my God.
And he was still writing blogs about this in like the early 2000s. And I thought that Colossus should have pulled the stump up easily, and instead he's just
not
a little baby.
Wrong, right? Colossus can pull a full tree out of the ground with relative ease.
Yes, that's true. We've seen him do it multiple times, but still, it's just like, okay, you could imagine, okay, maybe this tree had strong roots, right? Like some trees are probably harder to pull out of the ground than others.
Yeah.
Fucking John Byrne, grow up. This is the thing, he was a very talented guy. But whenever you read John Byrne's opinions about like his like grudges in the comic book world, they're all this stupid. They are all that baby. Like it's I don't even think I'm being, because he leaves in 3 issues. I think right after this episode of our podcast, I think John Byrne leaves.
Did not know that.
And I think like it sounds mean to call a grown man a baby, but there's no other way to say it. And I hope he hears this.
Hey, the man's an artist.
You're right.
So Peter's pulling stumps. Warren flies around and complains about Wolverine for some reason. He's dangerous. He's a
Wolverine
loose
was
cannon.
Nice to you,
Yeah,
dude.
he was.
Like, what's your fucking problem?
There's no foundation for this, but okay. And Storm picks up Kitty from her dance class in the big city, revealing that Aurora has some nagging, inherent distrust of Stevie, Kitty's dance teacher. Something going on here.
Yeah, it seems like it's just like she has some sort of rivalry. Like, oh, this person is getting close to Kitty, my surrogate daughter.
Overall, though, everyone back home seems to be doing okay.
Also, Kitty phases through the door of the Rolls Royce.
Right.
And we know what her phasing does to electronics. So I just imagine Storm being like, damn it, Kitty! Now the fucking automatic windows don't work.
These are the first automatic windows ever invented. But overall, everyone back home seems to be doing okay. Not Nightcrawler, though. We cut back to Canada, where he's going toe-to-toe with Wendigo alone. Unfamiliar with his surroundings, he can only teleport so far without the risk of materializing inside of a tree. He lets us know it would be a pretty graphic death.
But how funny would it be the moments before Nightcrawler dies when he's waddling up to you and he's like half tree, he's just got a tree in the middle of him.
Help me!
And he's just like, "Hey, help! It hurt."
Kurt's nimble, but Wendigo is quicker and knocks him right into the cabin where Wolverine, Vindicator, Snowbird, and Shaman are trying to formulate a plan to find Wendigo.
Hey, Pat, is this funny? Wolverine says, I researched Wendy after the last time we tussled. And he says it's in quotations. And I wrote, Wolverine maybe should have tried searching Wendigo instead.
Yeah, what are you looking for? The mystery of square burgers?
Yeah. What, are you looking for some subpar fries? Maybe type Wendigo in your search engine.
Yes, Matt, I think that's very funny.
Thank you.
Chaos breaks loose. Wendigo throws a truck at the gang, causing a fire to break out. Vindicator gets a few good blasts in before getting knocked aside, and Snowbird transforms into a snow owl to tend to him. Is her power just that she turns into white animals?
Kind of. She can turn into any animal that is native to Canada.
Okay. So she chooses only white animals.
They all have to be white,
okay.
Right? Like, so if she changes into a moose, it's gonna be a white
moose. Albino moose. Shaman prioritizes putting out the forest fire as Wendigo escapes into the woods, leaving Wolverine and Snowbird to team up and pursue him. Snowbird makes a point of telling Wolverine she does not like him.
Again, rude! Why is everybody being so mean to Wolverine? What did he do to you?
He's being so kind to everyone in this issue, too.
Right, she's just like, I don't like you, but I'll save you. It's just like, stop it.
As they're teaming up, they're like, okay, I guess it's just the two of us left. And she's like, yeah, but you should know, I don't care for you.
It's like, no wonder he's such a grumpy guy. Like, when he tries to be nice, everybody just constantly tells him how much they hate him.
We take a very brief trip back in time to reveal that Vindicator and Mrs. Vindicator were the ones that found Wolverine half dead in the Canadian wilderness and nursed him back to health. They were his most trusted confidants, and he revealed to them alone how much he hated being an agent of death for the Canadian government.
That'll never get subverted in later continuity, I'm sure.
Back to the present, though. Wolverine and Snowbird catch up to Wendigo right in time to find him discovering the Parnell's hiding place. The Parnell, I don't think we mentioned this. Parnells are the family that the Wendigo is currently trying to find and kill for some reason.
The Wendigo already captured them and put them in his like little cave.
Oh.
And Wolverine is like, they're probably not dead because Wendigos like to eat their meat fresh.
Wolverine, seeing this, snaps into action, stabbing Wendigo real good, and then guiding the family to safety. But while Wolverine's back is turned, Wendigo grabs him and brutally slams him around. This is rough, Matt. He is getting like the first Avengers movie, Hulk to Loki, like just slammed by his leg into the ground.
Yeah.
It looks bad. Even with his adamantium skeleton, he can't take much more of this. But who should pop or bamf in at that very moment but Nightcrawler?
Oh, I have no idea. Oh.
He's brought a big stick and a second wind and is able to pull Wendigo away from Wolverine and into the remaining Alpha Flight members. Wendigo's staggered but not beaten, and Snowbird knows what she has to do. She transforms into a white Wolverine and goes absolutely ham on him. Claremont takes this moment to explain to us what a Wolverine is, in case we've been confused about Logan's codename.
Like all this time. It's funny. It's such a silly idea. Like, okay, the guy named Wolverine who has unbreakable metal claws and a healing factor, and he's a mutant, so he's probably stronger and faster than an average human being. And he's got military training and samurai training. He doesn't do that well against a Wendigo. But something that's supposed to be a literal the animal Wolverine destroys this thing.
Hey, they're dangerous.
This means that Wolverine would lose a fight to a Wolverine.
That's a good
by the
point.
transitive property.
It's a white Wolverine. I'm pretty sure regular colored Wolverines are native to Canada.
Well, that's again, she can turn into anything. It has to be white. She can't change her color. She can only change her shape.
She can't or she won't, Matt.
You'd have to ask her.
Two problems remain. Wendigo is only unconscious and will be awake again in only a few hours. And Snowbird seems to have lost control of her feral animal form and can't change back. Shaman steps in for the first issue, performing a ritual to remove the curse of the Wendigo, while Wolverine channels Scott Summers, remembering his conversation with Jean during the Dark Phoenix saga, to help Snowbird calm down and take back control of her consciousness.
Yeah, like explicitly. It's like, I gotta remember what Scott did.
Everyone's successful.
Yay!
A few notable things happen in the epilogue. Kurt and Logan have a deep conversation about the ethics of violence. It's a really powerful insight into both characters, I think. Kurt is very much just like, hey, don't kill people. We shouldn't kill people. And Wolverine saying like, hey, everything I did, I regretted, but was also in self-defense. I'm not just a maniac.
Right.
And Kurt asks him if that makes it okay. It's really interesting.
Like, this is the thing between them. They don't agree, but they understand each other.
Yeah.
And they respect each other.
Vindicator meets with another crude portrayal of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
I hate this guy.
Who informs him that the Canadian government can no longer employ Alpha Flight.
Uh-oh.
Finally, we see a prisoner in a supposedly inescapable prison after a meeting with his new lawyer. Escape his cell. What's worse, it's the Blob.
Uh-oh!
He's off to thank the new Brotherhood of Evil Mutants for his escape.
Uh-oh! What do you think of this issue, Patrick?
I
kind of don't like Wendigo stuff.
That's the thing. And this is, I think this covers both issues. Wendigo is just like a throwaway villain. You'd think he'd be more of a constant threat with his power level, but maybe that's just Canada business and we don't get to see that. Maybe this is what Alpha Flight's doing every week. What I'm realizing because of that is like, there's a lot of stories here where the villain just doesn't matter. Like, we're still getting good comics here. We get that really great conversation between Kurt and Logan. We get a ton of Wolverine's character development, just finding a little bit about his past and marrying that to his current actions and just figuring out what motivates him, and really turning more into the sort of like assassin with a heart of gold.
It's also, this issue's also like a lot more bright and exciting. It's as if Chris Claremont is seeing if he can take the X-Men. He's like, okay, I realized I can do dark and grim. Now let's see if I can do bright and exciting, but keep the same level of maturity.
Yeah.
And he's succeeding.
Very well could be Byrne's plotting credits here, right?
That could be too, yeah. All right, Pat, I want to, you know what I want to tell you about? This is a legendary X-Men story. It's called the Dark Phoenix Saga. And it starts with two people.
Buckle up, folks. We got 3 hours of content to come.
It's the day. It's Uncanny X-Men number 141, Days of Future Past.
Yeah, I call it Doth P.
You have always called it that. All right, this is written by Chris Claremont and drawn by John Byrne, both co-plotters. Terry Austin inked it. Tom Orzechowski lettered it. Glynis Wein colored it. Louise Jones edited it. And there's Jomp Shooter, editor-in-chiefing the whole thing. This was released on October 21st, 1980, and it was cover dated January 1981. We're in 1981, folks.
80s.
We open on Kate Pride.
Interesting.
In a metal collar and jumpsuit monogrammed with a big M, running down a dark, dilapidated Park Avenue. Huh? The narrator welcomes us to the 21st century.
Whoa.
It's 2013.
Whoa.
Could you even imagine such a futuristic time? Give it some time. This could still happen. So New York and the rest of the country, hell, the rest of the world is in the same rundown post-apocalyptic shape. Kitty wishes that her meeting location with Logan could be in a safer place, but acknowledges that safe places are few and far between these days. By Kitty, we mean Kate Pride, this futuristic Kate Pride. A trap door opens under her. Suddenly, she's surrounded by, quote, rogues. It's like a gang called the Rogues.
Yeah.
Violent, anarchistic street punks that hate mutants and sentinel tyrants alike. They promise to make her death slow and painful. She starts fighting back, but knows she won't last long, revealing that the collar she's forced to wear suppresses her mutant powers.
Forced.
The rogues move in threatening to flay Kate alive, but we hear a familiar... No, you're not, bub. What's your best Wolverine?
No, you're not, bub.
Okay. As Logan appears in the doorway, looking fucking sick as hell. He's graying at the temples.
Matt, this is the look I'm going to start going for. It is.
A fur-lined jacket with graying at the temples and tight jeans.
Yes, black t-shirt, tight jeans, a leather bomber jacket, and it's the wings at your temples, the white temples, the Reed Richards. That is my dream. I'm going to start dressing like this.
He makes light work of Big Alex, Robbo, and George.
Sorry. Big Alex.
What?
Big Alex, loser league candidate. Immediately,
Big Alex. Right? Yeah. He would get along so well with Rock and Redbone.
Yes, they would love him.
Yeah. Revealing along the way that he doesn't dare pop his claws, as it would reveal that he's in town to the sentinels that patrol the city.
What?
Kate asks him about his time with the Canadian Resistance.
Ooh.
And then takes the package from him, a receiver that Logan needs her to sneak back into the prison she's confined in. The narrator finally gives us some more context. In North America, in the year 2013, there are 3 classes of people. H for baseline human. A for anomalous human, which means you're a human, but you have mutant genetic potential in you. You're not allowed to breed. M for mutants. You're the bottom of the heap. You're made pariahs and outcasts by the Mutant Control Act of 1988. Hunted down and, with few rare exceptions, killed without mercy. In the quarter century since the Act's passage, millions have died. They were the lucky ones. Kate returns to the prison from her errand, required to walk through the graveyard of friends to return to the building.
This was so sad. Like, the entrance to the prison, the prisoner entrance when you have to run an errand for the Sentinels is to walk through the graveyard of all the heroes the Sentinels killed.
So, yeah, you see Kurt Wagner, Scott Summers, Charles Xavier.
They got the whole Fantastic Four: Johnny Storm, Ben Grimm, Reed Richards, Susan Richards.
They got Warren Worthington, Lorna Dane, Bobby Drake, Hank McCoy.
Who was that last one, Matt?
I don't know. It's someone. There's some that I can't make out. It looks like Mary Poppins. Looks like it says Mary Poppins.
She's pretty powerful. They would want to take her out.
Also, Kate Pryde is riding on a horse-drawn bus, which is interesting. What point is vengeance against an unfeeling machine, she ponders. Back in prison, she meets up with her surviving friends, Aurora, Peter, Franklin Richards, a telepathic telekinetic named Rachel.
Never heard of her.
And Magneto. They talk of undoing the fabric of reality, risking the past they've built for themselves, including the marriage of Peter and Kitty. Kitty reveals that the Sentinels even took the children they had together.
What the fuck are they getting up to here?
Franklin Richards pops the receiver from Logan into a device, and suddenly the group's power-suppressing collars are inert. We see Kate lying back, Rachel's hands upon her head, and they begin this phase of the plan. Suddenly, Kate is entranced, her soul flung out across the abyss of eternity. It's Friday, October 31st. It's Halloween, 1980. Just days before a presidential election, and the X-Men are training in the Danger Room. Kitty gets her very first Danger Room test, and she passes with ease. Everyone's very proud. But before she can walk out of the room, she too feels her soul flung out across the abyss of eternity.
Everybody's getting their soul flung out across the abyss of eternity. It's
this test, yeah.
It is insane that they're like, hey, Kitty, it's your first time, so you're probably going to be nervous, but just know that none of this stuff can actually hurt you. We have full control. They send her through 2 metal walls that are collapsing on each other. I think she's dead if she doesn't phase through.
I think it's supposed to be clear that there are like cushions on the edges of these walls, but what's that going to do?
Yeah, she's still dead in that instance.
She walks through this whole thing with her eyes closed, and it makes the X-Men laugh, and it's very cool.
Cute. It is cute.
It's very cute. All right, so she gets her soul also flung out
across the abyss of eternity.
The X-Men only see her pass out, and back in the Medilab, determine there's nothing actually wrong with her, aside from a more complex brain pattern.
Yes!
Wolverine says she smells like a woman.
Also, Wolverine is reading her brainwaves. At one point, he's like, this is too much for me. I wish the professor was here. But he's getting some pretty intense readings off of her brainwaves.
He's the tech expert. Yeah, he's like, these look like her brain patterns, but more complex.
Yeah.
And she smells like a woman. She comes to and is immediately overcome with emotion, seeing her friends that just moments ago had been dead for years. She explains to the X-Men that she's actually her 2013 consciousness, transported into her 1980 body to help save the future.
My God.
She explains to the stunned faces of the team that today the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants will assassinate Senator Robert Kelly, a presidential candidate that believes in mutant registration, triggering the oppressive Sentinel-ruled future she comes from. Kelly's very public murder sways the country's opinion, gaining support for mutant registration and Sentinel patrols, and electing an extremist anti-mutant candidate in 1984. The Sentinels eventually...
There's some really chilling stuff here when they cut to that 1984 election, and the candidate is standing in front of this huge banner that says, "It's 1984. Do you know what your kids are?" That, aside from being like a take on the "it's 11 p.m. do you know where your kids are" commercial, like PSA that was storming the airwaves at that time, this rings so familiar with
the present day.
The fight for gay rights that you and I saw as we grew up, and now the present day for trans rights of just like...
That's what sprung into my head immediately, this fight for trans rights, is this idea of like, you have to gain control over what your children are.
Yeah.
And this idea that your child, like, just being a different type of person than you could make them dangerous and a terrorist. Right? Like,
yeah.
Legitimately, we just saw in the United States a assassination that was blamed on the transgender movement. A very public assassination blamed on the transgender movement, and they are trying to do this in the United States today. Like, we're talking about this, there are people that could be these people in this comic having conversations these people could be having. Oh, there's a guy holding up a newspaper, and it says Senator Kelly's assassins, mutants. And literally there were newspapers that were like,
yes,
Charlie Kirk's assassin, trans roommate? ?
Yeah. It's gross. And here it is in 1980, projecting into 1984 and projecting the consequences into 2013. And we're in 2025, and we still see this exact same thing.
It's really hard to... It was really hard to read this part.
Yeah.
Knowing...
And this is
the moment, specifically the moment we are in, like, this month.
And this is like 5 panels too. This is just showing the passage of time, and really kind of nails... I mean, we're already talking eugenics, but really nails the path to get there.
Well, I think one of the things about the Trump administration that has been so shocking to people is, I think when people always sort of imagined that when fascism would come for the United States, that it would be done subtly, it'd be done sneakily, it'd be done in sort of these like through these back channels. We didn't think that it would happen in these incredibly overt, transparent ways that have been represented in fiction for decades, and that like directly and immediately mirror things that the Nazis tried or Joseph McCarthy did, right?
Yeah.
Like, these were things that it was like, okay, history has settled these questions. McCarthyism bad, Nazism bad. It's not that those forces have gone away forever, but you probably won't see them in this form ever again, because we all know what they are. We all know what we would immediately, we'd look at it and go, oh, that's Nazism. Oh, that's McCarthyism, obviously.
Yeah.
Or, oh, that's the fucking plot of Days of Future Past. They didn't
did it the way a comic book villain does it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The Sentinels, they eventually take over. They destroy the country in pursuit of mutants, killing them or delivering them to prison labor camps. Having taken all of North America, the Sentinels have turned their eyes upon Europe, who are ready to launch a full nuclear strike on the US to prevent the same thing from happening to them. The team is skeptical of her story, but figure it's at least worth checking out. The X-Men are going to DC!
Yeehaw!
Yeah, because Professor X is there, and they're like, hey, just in case she's right, let's be there. But also Professor X will be able to scan her brain and be like, is this true? Professor, is what she's saying true?
Hey, excuse me, Professor, I know you're talking to a senator.
But is she
quick,
lying?
This 13-year-old girl might be lying to us.
Back to the future, where Logan, Peter, Aurora, and Franklin sneak through an old subway tunnel on their way back to Sentinel HQ, the Baxter Building.
What the fuck?
Magneto, we're told, sacrificed his life to help them escape the prison.
Eyes off screen. That's crazy.
In a terrifying series of panels, the roof is torn off the tunnel, and Franklin Richards, little baby Franklin Richards, at this point, he's like a little baby. He's like a little toddler who's in the Fantastic Four comics being cute. Like, that's his number one
in present day
trait.
Yeah. Or in 1980.
He's eviscerated by a blast of light here. He's gone in an instant. Sentinels tower over the hole in the roof, giving the team the option to surrender or face immediate termination.
This was terrifying. I'm feeling a lot of things in this issue. This was terrifying. Like, just it is very graphically illustrated, the vaporization of Franklin Richards, and then we cut to just this impossible sense of scale where these sentinels are towering over. They seem like they're 10 stories tall.
Yeah. They fight, defeating the small pack of sentinels that found them, but knowing there are more close behind. Back to 1980. The Pentagon. A white-skinned, black-haired woman named Raven. I don't know. It's just, it was written here. I wonder why. White-skinned, black-haired woman named Raven Darkholme walks down a hallway, barking orders at high-ranking military officers along the way. She slips into a private room, immediately transforming into a blue-skinned, red-haired woman in a super-villainous dress. She's better known as Mystique.
Whoa!
In this private room waits the new Brotherhood of Evil Mutants that she leads: Avalanche, Pyro, Destiny, and the only returning brother, Blob. They bicker before Mystique pulls them together as it's time to assassinate Senator Robert Kelly. So, we've got some first appearances here, Patrick.
We really do, and some cool power sets, too.
So, we've got Mystique.
Yeah. Metamorph.
She was a Miss Marvel villain created by Chris Claremont in 1979, but she's only ever had about 4 appearances before this issue.
It's every time Chris Claremont invents a character, they're going to make an appearance in the X-Men.
Yeah, exactly. Next, we have Avalanche. Tell us about Avalanche.
Avalanche destroys inorganic material by touching it.
He seems to be able to do it across distances too, because the narrator tells us he has to touch it, but then he immediately, like the next panel, destroys something he's not touching.
He also, it seems like he seems to have focused this power to be able to sort of like create ripples in the ground.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think.
Something like that.
All right, Pyro. What's Pyro's whole friggin' deal?
Pyro...
He makes fire, right?
No. Matt,
what?
Pyro controls fire. He can't make it himself.
What?
Also, I'm pretty sure he just controls fire, but in these issues, he is able to make it a solid object that can grab people and punch people.
Yeah, he does that a little bit. Destiny. Yeah. Who's she?
This is, I think, really cool. She is able to see just moments into the future. She can see the thing that's about to happen, and it comes into play. It's really cool.
And she wears like this golden mask across her face at all times.
Yeah. It's got a good look.
All right. So this is the new Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Cut to Capitol Hill, where Kelly is grilling Charles Xavier and Moira McTaggart on why mutants should have rights.
This is so fucked up. Also, he is like pacing the floor and grilling them like they're witnesses on a court stand. Like this is not a trial. And he's just like, well, should they be treated like people? Or, he's asking
who can say?
Xavier and Moira, like, who knows? Maybe they should all be confined to prison camps. I'm just asking questions.
Yeah. Xavier senses the X-Men sneaking into the back of the room, and upon reading Kitty's mind, verifies with a stunned look of realization that Kitty has been telling the truth. She is, indeed, 2013 her transported into her 1980 body. Before anyone knows what to do next, in burst the new Brotherhood, and only the X-Men stand between them and Senator Kelly. To be continued. Fuck, dude.
So much happens.
Right.
What a long recap. I feel like you probably could have cut a couple pieces out there, Matt. But
Moira's dressed like Daphne from Scooby-Doo, by the way.
She is. She's always got a look. She's always serving.
So, a couple things. They talk about the Senator Kelly is like, or what did the Neanderthals feel about the Cro-Magnons? And Raven Darkholm, Mystique, walks in and she's like, well, I'm about to do to you what the Cro-Magnons did to the Neanderthals. Breed with him? breed with you're here now?
Did they think that there was like a great war between the different phases of man?
I legitimately think that for a long time people did believe that. that like, oh, when a new type of man came along, they fought until only one was alive. Like, that's literally what people thought Darwin meant.
Survival of the fittest is when all the birds fight all the bugs.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's not how it happened. In case you listening at home didn't know, because X-Men does make it confusing. Like, sometimes, like, this is not the only time the X-Men sort of parrot that weird, like, 1800s idea of evolution.
Overall, dude, I was like, and you and I were talking about this off air a little bit.
I don't listen to him. I don't talk to Pat off air.
The story is a pretty popular one. The general framing of it is fairly familiar, especially since the Days of Future Past movie, which gets every detail wrong here, but does
and least... in a way that I think undermines the details. Like, I'm not a big the comic book movies should be exactly like the comic books. Like, I'm not that kind of guy, right? But
they clearly switched out some characters to help with popularity,
and I think, like, legitimately undermined some of the impact. And I feel the same way. I know you feel differently. I feel the same way about the Dark Phoenix saga.
I don't feel that too. Okay.
You said it was your favorite movie of all time. I cut it out of the last episode because the last episode was too long. But in the last episode, Pat said that Dark Phoenix Saga was his favorite movie of all time.
No, I didn't. And also, you're thinking of X-Men Last Stand. But what I'm trying to say, Matt, is,
please, God, get to it already.
I tried to go into this without all that context of, like, the movie or the other times we've seen this future and things that play out in it. And the way they piece together, or the way they make you piece together what's happening here, is really incredible. The pacing of the reveals here all the way up until about 2/3 of the way through the issue, when Kitty is finally like, look, there's going to be an assassination. I was sent here from the future, but I'm inhabiting my past self's body. All of that doesn't make any sense. It's just, you have to, I mean, it makes some narrative sense, but it's just this loose, like, oh my God, how did the apocalypse happen? Right. Jump into action until they finally reveal it.
Yeah, I think it's fairly well done. I find this issue a little slow, and I think maybe it's for that reason, right? Like, I already knew this story, not just this time reading it. Like, I've known this story for a long time and known the differences between the published story and the retellings of it on the cartoon or whatever. Like, well before. It's the same thing of, like, I knew the mastermind twist in Dark Phoenix Saga before I read Dark Phoenix Saga. There are some things that are very, like you're saying, masterfully done. But I think, like, I never got to have the full impact of, unfortunately. Was there anything else stupid here? They mentioned the champions.
They do mention the champions.
They mentioned Mutant Menace.
They say Mutant Menace a bunch of times. It's to the point where I don't think we can catch every mention of it anymore. Also, they mentioned, did we already know this? Moira won a Nobel Prize. When did that happen?
Just in between the last two issues. No, I don't know. I don't think they mentioned it, but like I'm not surprised.
And for what?
She's supposed to be
imprisoning
genetics,
imprisoning people for their entire lives without ever giving them any human contact.
I don't know how many people know about that part.
Why would they give her a prize for that?
Yeah, it seems like they shouldn't have a Nobel Prize for human imprisonment.
On to Uncanny X-Men number 142, Mind Out of Time.
Okay.
Chris Claremont and John Byrne, writer, co-plotters, and penciler, respectively. Terry Austin, inker. Glynis Wein, colorist. Tom Orzechowski, letterer. Louise Jones, editor. Jump Shooter is also still here. Release date November 18th, 1980.
Why do you keep letting him in?
Cover date February 1981. In 1980, the X-Men face off against the new Brotherhood of Evil Mutants in the U.S. Senate. Senator Kelly tries to send a cop against the Blob with predictable results, while the rest of the X-Men are upended by a tidal wave of wood and rock, courtesy of Avalanche.
This is a funny, this beginning when they're facing off, all the X-Men are like angry, right? Like, cause it's all the new X-Men and they're like, oh, we're gonna crush these guys. I'm determined. I'm gonna crush them. And then Warren's just smiling, his dumb smile.
Hey guys.
He's like,
hey, Brotherhood.
Hey, this is what we do. This is what we do. We get in big fights. Isn't this fun, everybody? It's like a senator's going to get killed. The world is about to end, you fucking dope.
When Nightcrawler tries to use a flurry of teleport punches against Avalanche, Destiny tells him exactly where to punch and he catches Kurt off guard. Pyro blasts fire from his wrist-mounted flamethrower and, using his power over living flame, wraps a giant talon of fire around Colossus. Storm puts it out with a quick blast of rain, also stopping Wolverine from killing Pyro in front of the entire U.S. Senate. Yeah. Smart idea. She's the leader. Still distracted from probing Kate Pryde's futuristic mind, Professor X allows he and Moira to be led away from the battle by a security guard who turns out to be Mystique.
No!
She gasses them both and confers with Destiny, who tells her that the addition of a new random factor has made it impossible to read their futures and nothing is certain.
Whoa.
In 2013, the older versions of Wolverine, Colossus, and Storm, along with mysterious Rachel and the unconscious body of Kate Pryde, plan a raid on the Sentinel's main headquarters, the Baxter Building. Storm zaps the Sentinel standing guard outside, and while Rachel stays...
Sorry, I have to interrupt here because there's a very funny part where Wolverine's like, where Storm's about to take out this guard, and Wolverine's like, good luck. And she's like, I haven't believed in luck since my parents died in front of me when I was a small child. And it's like,
yeah, it's
okay, just
30 years later and you're still doing this, Storm.
He just said good luck. All he said was good luck. You could have just said thanks. Like, you don't have to... Okay.
This is her being like, I would have saved anybody, not just you.
Like, okay, all right.
Storm zaps the Sentinel standing guard outside, and while Rachel stays behind to watch Kate's body, the other three press on into the building, headed for the roof. Back in 1980, the X-Men are losing against the Brotherhood, and Storm is taking it hard. In an attempt to regain the upper hand, she blasts the entire crew out of the side of the building with hurricane winds. Outside, the Army's special weapons team has arrived, and as Blob and Colossus pound on each other, Colossus takes a full-on blast in the chest from a concussive laser cannon.
Cool, Army. Ugh. Cool. Good job.
The fight carries on with the X-Men trying to divert the Brotherhood's attention away from the Army, but taking considerable damage in the process. When, at one point, Mystique takes the form of Nightcrawler and no one can tell which is which, Wolverine begins advancing on with his claws when Storm stands in his way for a second time. After a brief standoff, Wolverine agrees to sheath his claws, but tells Aurora that this conversation is not over. Yeah. Another great example of him respecting earned authority and saying, like, okay, I won't stab anybody yet.
Right.
Then, the fight hits a major turning point when Colossus decides to use Wolverine's body as a fulcrum for a giant steel I-beam and launch the Blob into the air, then punching him into Avalanche. He punches him right in the butt, Matt.
He punches him in the butt, and this is the stupidest thing. Like, he has Wolverine kneel down, and then he puts a big steel I-beam over Wolverine's back, and then he puts it under, he sneaks it under Blob's gooch, and then he stomps on it. So Blob goes flying and then punches him in the butt at Avalanche. It's like all of a sudden we're back in 1967.
And Wolverine, while it's happening, is like, this is a great idea. He's using physics. He knows that my skeleton is made of metal.
Oh boy.
Storm creates a monsoon over Pyro's head, dousing his flames, and the real Nightcrawler knocks Mystique to the ground. Mystique reveals that she knows Kurt Wagner's real name, as well as the name of his adoptive mother, Margulies Zardos.
What?
And as this sets Kurt reeling, she disappears into the crowd. The X-Men begin...
What the fuck?
I know. He's got roots, Matt. The X-Men begin celebrating their victory until they realize that Destiny and Sprite are both missing. In 2013, the old X-Men reach the Sentinel's lab, and Colossus, the aged
past.
X-Men, not the older version of the X-Men.
Wait, they're in the past.
The new X-Men, who are old now.
In
2013.
Okay.
2013,
the future.
They reach the Sentinel's lab, and Colossus fastball specials Wolverine into the back of a Sentinel. We get an old man fastball special. It's really good. But it turns around at the last second and fries literally all of the flesh off of Logan's skeleton.
Unbelievable.
It clangs lifeless to the ground. Storm reacts in rage, failing to notice a new squad of Sentinels entering the room, allowing herself to be impaled. As she falls, dead, Colossus lashes out, throwing the robot through the wall of the building. Down on the street, Rachel clutches Kate's unconscious body and cries as she feels each of her friends die telepathically and hopes her friend is faring better in the past.
This is rough.
In 1980, Destiny has cornered Senator Kelly in his office with a hand crossbow. She's only a precog, so she's got to use crossbows.
She's got to use a crossbow. She bought it at the Renaissance Fair.
However, a moment before she pulls the trigger, Kate Pride runs through her, knocking her off balance due to her nature as a temporal anomaly, and the bolt misses. At that moment, Kate's consciousness leaves Kitty's body. The X-Men leave and wonder aloud if their actions have actually changed the future at all. In an epilogue, 1 month later, Sebastian Shaw and Robert Kelly meet with the president in secret. Now, this time, Matt, because this comes out before, or I should say, it comes out right after the 1980 election, but would have been drawn before they had any idea who the next president was. He's just shrouded in shadow. It's just
he's just in shadow.
Dark, shady man.
So they don't know that it was obviously
Ronald Reagan.
I said that. I was saying that. You didn't give me enough time.
Publicly, the president says he will have to reject Senator Kelly's proposal due to the actions of the X-Men.
Ronald Reagan said that?
But secretly, he is launching a new Sentinel project called Project Wide Awake, spearheaded by a man named Henry Peter Gyrick.
Whoa.
Now that's a name I've heard.
We don't know that. We haven't heard that name in this podcast, I don't think. Have we?
I don't think so either. No, I tried to find it. And
Pat, who's Henry Peter Gyrick?
He's a bad dude.
All right. That's all you need to know.
I believe he was part of like Iron Man or the Avengers prior to this, right? He has history prior to this comic.
Yeah. So he, as far as I know, he was the Avengers liaison to the White House.
I don't know how, like, when we see his face here, we're supposed to be it's supposed to be a reveal. Yeah. I don't know if it's because he was some sort of villain at this point or if it's just
We need Weapon Jason.
Yeah. Weapon Jason, or anybody that knows. We've got a lot of emailers these days, Matt. But
That's true. We got a lot more email.
Yeah,
So yeah, I know where the story of Henry Peter Gyrick goes, and I know where it starts. I won't say how it is progressed on into the future, but there's clearly something between that origin and this issue that I don't know. Here. So that's Days of Future Past.
That's it.
It's got a whole. It's one of the most famous X-Men stories of all time. It's like one of the biggest,
incredibly
X-Men stories of all
influential.
time, and it's 2 fucking issues long.
Just 2 issues, 2 regular size 18-page comic issues.
Yeah.
There is a very fun moment that I can't move past. Wolverine, when they're entering the Baxter building, is able to hack the private elevator that I guess even the Sentinels don't know about, because he has an electric I-beam belt buckle, which on its own is wild and has to be part of the new Wolverine outfit that I'm putting together for myself. But also, it just shoots out a yellow beam from his waist.
Leans back, grabs his waist.
It really looks like he's just pissing on the elevator to make it work.
Hey, it works.
It works
for him.
We get a mention of, this is the wording they use, Wolverine's mutant fast healing ability. Clear as day here. They have only sort of toyed with it in the past, but this is them officially being like, yes, he heals as part of his mutant powers. Instead of him just being like, I heal real fast.
I heal fast. Yeah, you're right. I guess it is. Yeah, this is more explicit.
I've been waiting for that moment.
Okay.
So, Matt, that's the end of Days of Future Past. Is that all we have today? Pretty major.
It is not, Patrick.
What?
In fact, we missed an issue.
Oh, is that why I read X-Men Annual number 4?
You mean Nightcrawler's Inferno?
Yes.
Let me tell you all about what you just read. It's written by Chris Claremont. It's drawn by John Romita Jr. and Bob McLeod.
John Romita Jr.
Lettered by Tom Orzechowski. Colored by Glynis Wein. Edited by Louise Jones. Jump shooters there. Release date August 5th, 1980. Cover date November 1980. Listen, man. It's Kurt Wagner's 21st birthday.
What? He's only 21?
Yeah. That's what his cake says.
So
and the X-Men celebrate by eating and drinking and exchanging presents. Kurt opens up a mysterious box without a label containing a crystal figure of himself. When he touches it, it explodes in a black cloud and Kurt falls unconscious. After some time, Aurora and Xavier come out to the anxiously awaiting X-Men and inform them that Kurt Wagner, is no longer alive.
What? He's dead?
His body lives, but there's no mind, soul, or life force left within him.
Oh.
As a last-ditch effort, Xavier calls Dr. Strange. After a quick examination with the Eye of Agamotto, Strange determines that Nightcrawler is under an enchantment and his soul has been stolen. While Strange determines that whatever did this is not evil, interestingly enough, he also notices some kind of spirit in the room.
This is already getting nuts.
Right. Well, you know it's wild when Doctor Strange shows up.
Yeah.
It's a floating green woman's head with horns who identifies itself as Margali of the Winding Road. In moments, it releases a bunch of oozy tentacles and sucks Strange and all the X-Men, save Kitty and Xavier, through into some black void. The X-Men and Strange wake up in front of a giant door in the mouth of a big rocky demon face. Also, Nightcrawler's here.
Yeah, he's just kind of like, oh, hey, guys.
Hey, what's up?
You're here too?
And they're not like, oh my god, you're still alive. They're just like, oh, hey, Nightcrawler. Written on this door are the words, "Through me you pass into the city of woe. Through me the way to eternal pain. Through me the way among the lost people. Justice moved my maker on high, divine power made me, and supreme wisdom and primal love. Before me nothing was created, but eternal things, and I endure eternally." Abandon every hope, ye that enter.
Uh-oh.
Which identify it as the gates of hell as per Dante's Inferno. Everybody knows that fucking quote, right? Like, that's not... Anyway, through the door, they find the River Acheron. By the way, folks, this issue is... how would you describe the pacing of this issue?
Confusing. It's broken into 4 acts, which
yes,
I hate. I think that's a terrible structure for a story.
And every page is like a brand new. It's also it's kind of like when the scene shifts, they are encountering a new like piece of the adventure.
Yeah, it's
like it's like broken up into encounters almost like D&D or something, and it lingers in each encounter.
Well, they're going through the levels of hell, right? And they spend a different amount of time on each of them, and they don't seem to be as concerned with narrative here as much as they are just saying, like, there's even some vocabulary lessons here, which makes it feel like somebody was just like, let's walk the X-Men through Dante's Inferno, and then we can just make the story fit. Yeah.
So we're going to kind of truck through. It's still going to be a fucking, like, this is still a bit of a long
there's still a lot
recap. But we are going to sort of truck through at a pace that is very different from the comic book's pace. So if you feel like details are being glossed over, it's because they are. And because they don't really matter towards the structure of the story.
Or because those details just didn't exist.
Well, that too. That happens at some points too. Yeah. Okay. All right. Through the door, they find the River Acheron, but Strange thinks to himself that he's been to hell, and this doesn't look like it. An old fiery-eyed bald man named Charon arrives in a boat and takes them across to the Palace of Minos. Minos, guardian of the Gate of Hell, turns out to be a very tall, charming-looking man with a shining smile and a nice black tux on.
It's funny that you say a shining smile, Matt, because I'm pretty sure this is modeled off of the final shot of The Shining with Jack Nicholson in the photo in the tux. Oh, yeah. It looks just like it.
His teeth gleam in one of the pictures. Yeah. After hitting on Storm, and this is fucking the beginning of the Claremontian trope where everybody is attracted to Storm and has to talk about it.
Right. Well, they've clearly been attracted to Storm for a couple of years now.
Yes. After hitting on Storm, Minos tells Nightcrawler he's here for his sins, and a big green tail appears from behind his throne, and tosses Nightcrawler out of the roof. Storm follows behind and catches him viewing the infinite tiers of hell from above.
Sick.
When Storm tries to... the art here also is fucking fantastic.
Mm-hmm. It's got like that psychedelic landscape feel to it with the hell edge over it.
And there's some cinematic panels, especially ones that involve Wolverine, but mostly it's that psychedelic landscape like you're talking about, but it's just like with Byrne style detail.
Yeah.
And emotional. When Storm tries to take them back to Minos' palace, they're both caught in a hurricane and dropped into the second circle of hell. In this circle, the winds are constant and violent, dragging along the bodies of those who gave their minds over to carnal desire. As Storm fights the winds, they're attacked by harpies. She sends Kurt through a wind tunnel back to the palace as she's stabbed in the back and falls deeper into hell. Kurt lands back in the palace and Wolverine threatens Minos, causing him to back down. Minos backs down. Strange still thinks something is strange about this place, but joins the X-Men on their search for Storm into the third circle of hell, where gluttons face constant cold rain.
I'm sure there's
I could deal with it.
Irony there that I'm not picking up on.
I could take it. I could take cold rain. Yeah, I'd be fine.
And I'm a glutton.
Here they fight the 3-headed dog Cerberus and beat its ass. We skipped the fourth circle entirely. They mention it's for the avaricious, but they stop in the 5th circle where the wrathful are stuck in a big, loud, smelly swamp. Wolverine's like, oh no, if I don't watch out, I'll end up here. He does a real Scrooge.
Yeah.
Here they ask Nightcrawler about Margali from earlier.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
And we find out that he killed her firstborn son. But what he doesn't say out loud is that this was his own brother, Pat.
Yeah. It's a real weird, everybody knows that he's not telling the whole story, right? Because he's just like, oh yeah, I killed a man, and so I deserve to suffer for it. Everybody's like, wait, what?
What? No, you didn't.
You're 21.
He's like, we gotta go.
Yeah.
We gotta keep going.
I don't want to talk about it.
They fight some demons, and Colossus opens a big gate, and Strange thinks again, this can't be hell. Now they're in the 8th circle of hell. Yeah, we skipped a few, it seems.
Yeah, we just hopped straight down.
8th circle of hell is called Malbolge.
Malabolge. A
set of circular steep ravines leading into a pit. This is where frauds and thieves go. So they know Storm, a former thief, is here. Wolverine rushes off excitedly while the rest are like, wait, where did he go? Let's go find Storm. And they find her, malformed and seemingly completely unaware of who they are. Strange tells them...
So fucked up.
Yeah, she looks
all fucked up.
Strange tells them, wait, this isn't truly Storm. And then Wolverine is there, and he's like, hey, you want Storm? Here's Storm. And it's a weird pink snake thing coiled around him.
How did he figure this out? Did he smell Storm's soul in this snake?
Well, hold on. You're assuming he's correct. That's not what I would have assumed had I been there. Wolverine, that's a weird pink snake thing. Nope, this is Storm.
You okay, man? Did you drink some of that hell swamp water?
Everything all right with you, bud? Let's sit down.
No, that's a snake.
Anyway, they let the serpent bite Storm's body, then everybody's back to normal. Whatever. Now they're in the 9th pit. Cocytus. Where the worst of the... Don't correct us on these. Look, I know you guys love to write in and correct us on stuff. We don't need correcting on these ones.
Yeah.
Where the worst of the worst are. Nightcrawler falls through some ice and they free him, then Satan attacks them. Strange reveals that it's not actually Satan. All right, now we're into the story.
Okay,
now the story starts.
This will start to make sense.
It's Margali. She's confused as to why they're here at all. She just grabbed Nightcrawler when some lady named Jermaine appears.
Yeah.
She says that she deceived the X-Men into thinking she was Margali and lured them here to stop her from destroying the man she loved.
Matt.
Yeah?
I read this explanation 6 or 7 times. I could not figure out what role Jermaine plays in this story.
Okay. Jermaine.
Daughter of Margali.
Margali sent the statue to Nightcrawler.
To get him into hell.
It sucked Nightcrawler to fake hell. And then Jermaine showed up as fake Margali.
To pull the rest of the X-Men into hell to go
to
get...
save.
Okay.
But none of that is spelled out.
No, not at all.
In this
and I
page.
am very smart.
So anyway, she gets turned into ice. Strange fights Margali until Kurt gives up because he doesn't want anyone else to get hurt on his account. Margali demands Kurt sacrifice his life for the life he took, that of her son. Strange intervenes and it's like, hang on. Do you want justice? And she's like, yeah, I want justice. He's like, all right. Well, the Eye of Agamotto will just show us what happened. So it does. Kurt, orphaned as an infant, was adopted by the gypsy witch queen Margali Zardos and raised as her son, along with her daughter Jermaine and her true son Stefan.
I think it's Stefan.
Kurt and Stefan were close and swore a blood oath that if Stefan ever turned evil, he wanted Kurt to kill him. Stefan eventually became evil. This is in the span of one panel. And he and Kurt fought, and Stefan actually accidentally died. Kurt didn't kill him. His neck just randomly snapped in the fight.
What are you, the New York Times, talking about a police shooting?
Kurt was found with the body moments before we met him in Giant Size X-Men #1, being chased by a mob who believed him to be a murderer and a demon. The mob found him over Stefan's body. Anyway, Margali returns them all home and apologizes and forgives Kurt. Jermaine reappears and reveals that she had been hiding in plain sight all this time as Amanda Sefton,
What?
Kurt's girlfriend. Everyone celebrates the end. All right. So we met Amanda a while back.
Yeah. You told me to track her, to notice when she appears. And I did.
Yes.
They went and saw Star Wars together.
They went and saw Star Wars together. They talked on the phone a bunch of times. Mm-hmm. He had a picture of her. It's his girlfriend. Turns out his girlfriend was actually his old girlfriend, who's actually his sister.
Adoptive sister.
Adopted sister. But I guess they were girlfriends and boyfriends before. Because they seem to know that they love each other.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, oh, now I double love you, actually.
This is... Okay.
Yeah? What? What? What's wrong? There's nothing weird about any of this.
Am I to believe, story aside, that they have been seeding this since they introduced Amanda Sefton to us? Which was like 4 years ago at this point.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
No, I mean, I don't think there's anything about Amanda. I don't think there's any foreshadowing here. It's just Kurt has a girlfriend named Amanda, right?
Yeah.
And yeah. Chris Claremont was like, "Oh, we should come up with a backstory for Kurt." Right? Like it is. This is the prime example of retroactive continuity, right? Like he is just fitting in an idea he had and being like, "Oh, well, I guess it kind of lines up in these ways."
Yeah, and it does take us to the moment that we meet Kurt Wagner in X-Men Annual #3.
In Giant Size X-Men.
In Giant Sex X-Men.
In Giant Sex-Men, the movie.
Sorry, it does lead us right to where we meet Kurt in Giant Sex-Men. I can't stop saying it. In Giant Size X-Men #1. Sorry, I can't get it out of my mind now. Giant Sex-Men. Giant Sex-Men.
I don't. So is the problem here that you don't know why they're not talking at all about how they saw Star Wars together? Yeah. This would all make sense to you if they just mentioned Star Wars once.
I would. It is
what you're saying.
It is strange that they're not at least talking. I mean, Empire is coming out at this point. It's in theaters. It's huge news.
All right. Well, how about we do this, Pat? How about we forget about that annual?
Okay. We
remember the ways that it applies to Kurt's life, but we forget about the annual. And let's talk about, how did you think of this? What are your final thoughts here?
Well, the first thing I said still holds true, I think. We get some weird villains. We get some bad stories, but it's really not about that as much as it's about the way those stories are told in most pieces, and also just about the character development that we get here. The way that all our favorite heroes get to thrive, they get to act very in character, they get to run into conflicts of their character.
Right.
You could plug the Hulk in for Wendigo. You could plug in Captain Ultra. Like, it's still going to be a story about the moral differences between Kurt and Logan.
Right.
I think that's really cool. I also, and it kind of dies out towards the end of this, but it goes into Days of Future Past, where they are doing a lot of reflection on grief, and not just like, I feel like I say this for every episode where we read Claremont comics, where I'm like, and it's not just this, it's this, but in this case, like, I mean, that's what he does so well. It's not just him saying like, oh, they're sad or they're still getting over the death of Jean. He really he reaches into his feelings and seems like somebody who has been through grief before and understands how unbearable it can become and how lasting those impacts are, and sort of how like the support system that you have when you're initially grieving goes away very quickly because that event disappears from everybody else's mind, but it doesn't disappear from yours. And he does a lot of just describing that state, and it's something that I really felt like that sort of connection to.
I really would have loved some of that with Cyclops, right? Like I would have loved like maybe a scene here or there every couple issues where we kind of check in with Cyclops. And like I know his idea here was Cyclops leaves the book. But it would have been really nice to check in and see how Claremont feels as if Cyclops is processing this now that he's all alone.
Yeah. I would love to see him with, you know, the 5 o'clock shadow, the sort of rough and tumble life he's leading.
Yeah. Is it that? Is he jumping into adventure?
Getting into
like
bar
that
fights.
Seems like a Cyclops sort of thing to do. Or did he rent an apartment and he's just fucking laying around watching TV?
He went back to his
for the first time in his life,
news broadcaster job in New York.
Like, it's not as if we won't eventually know, right? Like, it's no secret that Cyclops will come back to the X-Men one day. But it would be interesting to see like this glimpse. And I wonder how it felt for people at the time.
Yeah.
To suddenly lose Cyclops and Jean Grey at the same time. Now, I think these issues clearly show what you noticed in the Dark Phoenix saga. They're welcoming in new readers.
Yes.
They're resetting the team dynamics. Some of these dynamics are new and changed. Some of these are just being restated. Everything's being recapped. The book's tone is a brand new tone. We haven't seen this tone in the X-Men before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Dark Phoenix was obviously the comic's very popular after Dark Phoenix and will continue to be, but also Dark Phoenix was the end of that era almost. Like they seed a few other things, but they're giving themselves a clean slate to work from because they built like a 2-year story around Dark Phoenix. That was the conclusion of their arc, right?
Right. I guess you're right. And like, so the question, I guess, is what is still lingering, right? Hellfire Club obviously is still out there, right? There's Shaw working with, and we saw this come to fruition a little bit, right? Like Shaw working with
the government and Henry Gyrick.
Right. And we saw that because he was talking during the Dark Phoenix saga, he was talking to Robert Kelly.
Right. And about like purchasing a mass amount of Sentinels, so we know that we're heading in that direction.
Right. But what else is still dangling? Very little, right? Like Corsair being Scott's dad.
Yeah, but if
is dangling,
Scott's not there, are we concerned about that? We got that hint of a backstory for Kurt from Mystique. She knows something about him that.
Well, that now, right? Yeah, after what we just read, now there's new stuff.
Yeah.
Dangling, like there's a new Brotherhood of Evil Mutants and whatnot. But I mean, like
carryover from pre-Dark Phoenix,
right? And the other things that are carrying over are just, we don't know a lot about these guys' backstories, so maybe we should dig into those a little bit.
Yeah.
And other than that, let's introduce new characters. Let's introduce new plot lines. Like we have to start a whole new.
It's a clean slate.
X-Men.
Yeah. Very cool. Really, I think what it speaks to is kind of setting them up for lasting success, where they do. I actually like that they weren't carrying over a lot of complex stories. Like we do get a definitive ending to a long saga, and now we're launching anew. It's like when a show that always ends in cliffhangers finally has one episode with a satisfying conclusion.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, only a few pieces of admin left here.
He's got an eye out, something you could buy out. If you had a time machine that you would like to try out, it's at Deals and Seal.
That's right, folks. Today I have 3 ads.
What?
All connected. I know it seems like a bit, but we are, if you recall from a handful of episodes back, in the golden age of Saturday morning cartoons. And through the issues we read today, I received 1 ad for every major network. So we'll start with CBS. They call it their Tail Spinners from Out of the Sky. And it's a little...
Tail Spinners from Out of the Sky.
Yeah,
all right.
It's the mascot is a little frisbee with the CBS eye on it.
This was too early for the show Tailspin.
Yes, this is just a series of tales that were being spun. 8 a.m., the new adventures of Mighty Mouse and Heckle and Jekyll. Here he comes to start the day, along with those magpies who will put you away. 8:30 a.m.
I loved both of those cartoons as a little kid.
8:30 a.m. the Tom and Jerry comedy show. To Catch or Not to Catch. This is the quest with wacky tactics to the method to their cat and mouse madness. 9 a.m. the Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner show. The Bunny and the Bird are back along with their hilarious cast of loonies. And that ain't all, folks. 10:30 a.m. the all-new Popeye Hour. He am what he am, and he always will be. His friends or something else. 11:30 a.m. the Drac Pack. Listen to this one.
The what?
The Drac Pack. Drac, Frankie, and Howler are teenage descendants of some very popular monsters. Now they fight for what's right in their bizarre misadventures with their nefarious Dr. Dread.
What the fuck?
At 12 noon, it's the new Fat Albert show. We're going to skip right over that. At 12:30 p.m., the Tarzan Lone Ranger Adventure Hour starts.
Okay, but those two weren't cartoons, right?
I thought this
Tarzan
was...
and Lone Ranger
these are just like reruns of the shows?
No, I think with
they're new
Lone
episodes,
Ranger,
but they're not cartoons.
New, so yeah, I think these aren't cartoons. I think these are live action shows.
And then at 1:30, they have the child's version of 60 Minutes that they call 30 Minutes. Controversial, hard-hitting reports on current issues directly affecting you. It looks like a little picture of Ted Koppel down here. That's the CBS lineup. The NBC Saturday morning has,
of
course, the Godzilla Dino-Mutt Hour. Marvel at the fiery feats of Mighty Godzilla and the welcome Dino-Mutt, the dog wonder.
And there's Godzuki bouncing around.
Yeah, Godzuki is still with us. We have, of course, the Flintstone comedy show, all new fun and adventure. Come to Bedrock for laugh-filled escapades with TV's best-loved pals, Fred and Barney, smiles and spooky surprises with their new neighbors, the Frankenstones, plus Pebbles, Dino, and Bam Bam, the Bedrock Cops. Captain Caveman and the lovable Shmoo will be there, too.
I didn't know that Captain Caveman existed until Flintstone Kids.
Well, he's here in the Flintstone comedy show, which seems to be like a clip-based...
I don't know, man.
Or like
I also don't know who Shmoo is.
And then, of course, there are the Space Stars. We have Space Ghost. We have Astro and the Space Dogs. We have Teen Force. We have the Herculoids. We have the Jetsons. And then this is interesting. The Daffy Duck Show. So it seems like CBS got the rights to all the Looney Tunes with the exception of Daffy Duck, who gets his own show on NBC. And then finally, ABC opens real strong with the Fonzie saying, "Hey, it's me, the Fonz.
Oh my
Now
goodness.
Catch my new show and my new friends every Saturday morning on ABC." We have Superman, Batman, and Robin, Wonder Woman, the Super Friends battle tough new challengers every week. Wasn't Super Friends Spider-Man and Friends show?
No, Super Friends was the Justice League.
And then Fonzie goes on to say, "Then see me and the Happy Days gang travel to different places in a time machine. It gets really wild." It's a new show.
I knew that existed. I've never seen it, but I knew it existed.
Another new show. Then it's Richie Rich, the richest kid in the world with $100,000 a week allowance. That's not that much. All new Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo are back in brand new comedy cartoons. You can meet that mischievous cat, Heathcliff and Dingbat.
I don't know who Dingbat is.
There's an all new Plastic Man marries Penny, and guess what? They have a plastic baby. I can't imagine that's the whole name of the show, but. And for exciting adventure, watch Thundar the Barbarian.
All right. So which is your lineup then? You're sitting down. You're sitting down to, it's like, we're recording this on a Thursday, 2 days from now, Saturday morning. Your wife is out of the house.
So I can finally watch my Saturday morning cartoons.
Exactly. So you're sitting down in front of the TV. Are you throwing on CBS, Tail Spinners from Out of the Sky? Are you throwing on NBC Saturday morning? Or are you throwing on Saturday's Best on ABC?
I think it's got to be ABC for a few reasons. Number one, we have the Super Friends. So you've got Batman, you've got Superman, you've got Wonder Woman. That's got to be pretty solid. Number two, you've got the Happy Days crew flying around in a yellow submarine ripoff. Apparently it's a time machine. They're time traveling. So I gotta see what Fonzie does there.
And they have a dog. They have a dog sidekick.
Probably
that also goes, hey.
Switch over during Richie Rich. That seems boring. But then we get a Scooby and Scrappy-Doo cartoon. Solid. We get a Heathcliff cartoon. The Man Deserves It. And then we get a Plastic Man cartoon. What are they doing with a Plastic Man cartoon?
I'm curious about the Plastic Man cartoon. I would love to see the Plastic Man cartoon, but I think I'm sticking with, I don't know. I think I'm going to go with CBS.
Really? Is it because of the Drac
Mighty Mouse, Heckle and Jekyll, Tom and Jerry, Bugs Bunny, Roadrunner, Popeye. Yeah, and then I'll get to find out what the Drac Pack are.
I was almost swayed to NBC strictly because of the Daffy Duck show. I really would have loved to have seen that. So
how much are you charging? This is Pat Steals and Deals. So how much are you charging for this?
Being that this is 1980 and these are like the three major networks, the cost of a TV antenna, honestly, is probably $20, $25. I'm guessing. This is purely a guess. This is just conjecture, but
okay.
He's got an eye out, something you could buy out. If you had a time machine that you would like to try out,
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening this week. Thank you for being here. Thanks to Krills Wilson for all of our theme music, and to Julia Selly for the voice of Trish Tilby.
Yeah, look us up on Instagram at Mutant Menace Pod. You can also email right into Pat's email corner at mutantmenacepod@gmail.com. Every time I want to say Pat's email corner at mutantmenace.com. It is not that.
And join our Discord. There will be a link in the show notes. You can also find a link in our bio on Instagram.
Like, subscribe, YouTube, Facebook.
Is that it?
Everything except for the line we close the show out with every week.
All right, give it to me, Pat.
Well, always remember, some serpents burn their victims to ashes. Others merge with them, becoming part human, part monster.
And remember, for months I've been telling myself how good my battle suit was.